Well, Vijay, it's a pleasure to have you. And you've been involved with the Commonwealth Foundation for a long time with the forums that take place at Commonwealth summits. How will the one in London, how will the operation there be different from the ones in the past?
Yes, it's true that I've been involved with Commonwealth People's Forums for a long time. I think my first one was in Durban in 1999. I think it was called the NGO Forum in those days. And I think you'll find, well, you know this, that at every forum and every CHOGM gathering, the event really takes on the particular context. So the particulars of the politics of the day, the issues that are surrounding the host country at the time, the geography of the location, all of these things together combine to really make up the fabric of CHOGM and therefore the forums. You know, ever since I've been involved with forums, civil society organisations have tried to edge a little closer to heads of government and foreign ministers, and some gains have been made. In 2005, we had the first engagement between foreign ministers and civil society, and at successive CHOGMs and people's forums, we've seen that interaction improve in terms of quality, and we hope to build on that at this People's Forum and at this CHOGM. One of the critiques of the summit process is that whereas the delegates from the Youth Forum, delegates from the Business Forum have an opportunity to interact directly with heads of government, it's never been the case for delegates from the Commonwealth People's Forum. And that's a case that we've made quite strongly to the host government this time round, to consider opening up an opportunity for direct interaction between civil society colleagues and heads of government.
Do you have a sense that this is going to work this time?
We haven't had a no yet, but it's early days and we understand that the programme is in development, but that's one of the things that we'll be asking for and we've already put on the table.
And interaction between the different forums, is that going to be different this time?
Very much so. I mentioned 1999, the Durban CHOGM. That was the last time that there was a concerted effort to try and get the forums to work with each other. The particularities of each host has meant that it's been difficult for forums to interact. But this time, the host government's invested considerably in making sure that all the forums are together, that there's no pricing structure that prevents one from walking from one to the other. The accreditation processes are aligned. Everything has been done to encourage the forums to interact. You'll know that the forums are taking place between the 16th and the 18th of April, from the Monday to the Wednesday. And the Tuesday, the second day, which I've started calling Super Tuesday, is the day in which the forums are expected to have some degree of interaction. We don't know exactly what form that will take. There'll probably be some joint plenary at the outset, but there could well be co-branding of sessions, for example. One of the subjects under active consideration by us at the moment for the People's Forum is the role of women in peace building. We know very well that will be a theme being taken up by the Women's Forum. That's ideal terrain for collaboration interaction.
How about continuities? These have been running, as you say, since 1999. Is there any sense that the statements from the last Maltese events will be made available to people coming this time, that there will be any attempt to assess what has changed or been achieved both by the civil society organisations and by the Commonwealth generally in that 2-year period?
There's a couple of things to say on that. Firstly, in Malta, we saw the outcome statements from each of the forums appended to the official documentation, the leader statement and the CHOGM communique. That was a really welcome development because it signalled the intent to take the outputs from the various forums seriously and consider them as part of the whole rather than something that happens in the wings. So I think that was a very welcome step. For us at the Foundation, we've highlighted the need for continuity from one CHOGM to the other. And we try and live up to that in the Commonwealth People's Forum. So in 2013, we started a discussion at the Commonwealth People's Forum in Sri Lanka on the closing stages of the Millennium Development Goals and started up a discussion amongst Commonwealth civil society on the SDGs and what form they should take. That was followed through to Malta, where we took up the SDG process, mapped out the opportunities for civil society to engage with this concept of resilience, which was central to some of the discussion around the launch of the Sustainable Development Goals, resilience and leaving no one behind. And at this CHOGM, we are going to be focusing on a particular component of the Sustainable Development Goals. At the last CHOGM, heads noted the contribution of the Commonwealth Foundation to SDG 16 in particular, which places emphasis on accountable, open, transparent institutions, peaceful, just societies. And we want to drill down a little bit on that and see how civil society can contribute to discussions on how we build just societies, how we build peaceful societies, how we build inclusive societies, as a contribution to achieving better development outcomes.
Last question. What are the big achievements that have emerged from Commonwealth People's Forums in the last 2 or 3, and maybe either by civil society organisations working together or working with governments or working with the Commonwealth institutions? What can you point to as really significant achievements that probably wouldn't have happened if the People's Forum and the other forums had not existed?
I think the main advantage lies with us at the Commonwealth Foundation. You know, we're a modestly resourced organisation. We fund various initiatives, and for us, the People's Forum is a great opportunity to profile some of the work that we fund, with a view to that work being taken up and experimented with and implemented by other organisations. So for us, it's a platform that we can share knowledge primarily. And you can point to, for example, the work that we funded in the Seychelles on reforming mental health legislation. This was done in conjunction with our colleagues at the Commonwealth Health Professionals Alliance. You know, reviewing health legislation across the mental health legislation across the Commonwealth, understanding that there were countries that had an interest in actually reforming existing legislation, and then advancing that in 2 countries, in the Seychelles and in Botswana. People's Forum has been a fantastic showcase for that work, and I'll be going to the Seychelles as soon as we've finished speaking to meet with the Health Minister to discuss ways in which that work can be seen through to law, legislation, statute. But at this Commonwealth People's Forum, we'll be profiling health, and we'll be giving the Commonwealth Health Professionals Alliance an opportunity to talk about this aspect of their work and see whether we can have other organisations start to take up some of the lessons that we've learned as a consequence of funding this work in Botswana and the Seychelles.
Thank you very much.